Through the Play of Life introductory course, we have seen repetitively the power of the play of life in demonstrating in 3D our relationships, especially to have an insight, facilitate an insight in what we feel and what we do, but also a perception of what the other person feel and do. In the course, we expand that power with the role theory. We call it active role theory, that help us to name what is happening in these dynamics. And we have another pillar in our course, that is how to measure those relationships. So the Play of Life shows the 3D demonstration, the active role techniques names the role we play, and also we are able to measure the relationship and to map the relationships, what is called the RCompass tool. RCompass is a digital sociometry. Sociometry was created by Moreno, also the person who created psychodrama. And his passion was not what happened in one person or the other, but what happened in between. And his mind was the world as a whole, as a relationship. And his passion was, how can we change the world? But of course, we cannot do that in that way. What he finds is he explains that relationship world we have is experienced in a small cluster of people. This cluster of people, he called it social atom. So for him, a social atom is the smallest social system of relationships. The RCompass focus on highlight and map our social atoms. And this can be a social atom of the family. And again, it's not the whole family. Sometimes we have the social atom of a part of my father's family or my mother's family or this child family. So the social atom are small clusters of a group of people. But then he assesses what happened between people, and he called that tele. A tele is an empathy of double action. What he worked, and especially working with Martin Buber, the person who wrote the book I and Thou, is to identify what happened in these relationships. Moreno calls the relationship that moves me towards someone else like an acceptance. And also when the person moves themselves towards us, that accept us. Remember, it's a double action. And also he said, but there are people that we don't really like to be with. He called rejection. And there are people who don't like to be with us either. And some relationships are indifferent. If we are with them or not, it doesn't matter very much. And the important thing is that I might like to be with someone and the person may be delighted also to be with me. And he calls the relationship acceptance and acceptance. We call that in RCompass good relationships. But sometimes I may like to be with someone, but the person doesn't like me. It's not an easy thing to accept, but it's reality. And in that case, that tele is a mixed tele between an acceptance and somebody's a rejection, that we call that problematic. And sometimes this level of indifference we call as neutral. So the RCompass allows us to map our social atom and to give a visual picture of this mapping of relationship, but especially it gives us a numerical figure because it has an algorithm that measures distance and the tele and gives us what is called relationship capital index. And that gives us a picture. And very often when people do this, they say, now I understand why in this cluster of people, the social atom is so hard, because the relationship capital is so low. All of this has been done by the work of our IT engineer Antonio Cruz, who took the principles of sociometry and make it the RCompass as a digital format. So I invite you to have this amazing tool, to combine it with the play of life, with the active role theory, and I would something very practical to work so efficiently, especially with families, with groups, with communities. And the power of the RCompass is that gives us a picture of what is happening, but also allows us to dream how we would like relationships to be. And we can aim to that, map that, and also create a path towards that. And also, it helps us to see why did we arrive here. So the RCompass allows us to create other relationship, what happened before that we end here, so we can learn not to repeat it again. So RCompass is an amazing tool, very simple but very powerful, integrated with the play of life and active role theory. For what? To help us, to help our clients to aim to the life they deserve, the life worth living, and working with each social atom at a time and working with each relationship at a time. So keep tuned. In the next video, I'm showing you specifically the power of RCompass through a case study.